All right, this is Mary McKnight with Service Dog Academy, and we are here with Leia's puppies who are actively engaging in some play behaviors. So they're kind of biting each other, they're barking a little bit, and they're walking around actively here in the, you can see they're walking so much better. And I'm going to turn the better lights on so you guys can see them. There we go. Here's some better lights. Oh my goodness, yawny poo's going on there. Look at those yawns. And so yeah, so this is a puppy trying to play with another one right here, this brown one. It's trying to play with this one, or maybe trying to lay on top of it. I don't know exactly what's going on. But they only play for about maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes, 5 at the most, and then they kind of just kind of lay down. We got a yawn going there down at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. Yawn. Yeah. You can hear them making noises. I see that there's 2 people following us. Perfect. Who are you? You want to leave a comment on who you are? Who's watching? Oh, looks like the play has kind of stopped. Oh, so sad. But I'm going to hold one of the puppies up so you can see how cute they look. Their eyes are open now. Right? So this is the mama, Leia Bobea, Banana Banana Bobea, and this is one of her puppies. I don't know if you can see. See the puppy? Oh, you gonna give a view? Cutie patootie view. She's like, I want to go to mama right now. All right, we're gonna let them feed, since that seems to be what she wants to do. And we're gonna put the scent source on her so that they can be imprinted. I might turn the camera around, but I don't know. What kind of view would we get if we turn the camera around a bit? There you go. Now we can see everybody. Perfect. Thank you.
Showing dog nipples.
They won't. I don't think that's going to matter. There we go. Yeah. Yummy. Yummy. Scent imprinting going on here. What we're doing. So again, they're classically conditioned to the scent source. Gonna rub it on their nose a little bit and then rub it on mommy's tummy so that they have the smell of low blood sugar. There's some narcolepsy scent in here, some migraine scent, and some pot scent as well. Good job, puppies. There we go. On their noses. And so we're making sure that they're being imprinted. So the second that milk comes in, and you can hear the noise that they're making, the noise. Lay down. Lay down. You can go ahead and clean them in a second, honey. So that slapping noise that they're getting, and you can see, Kelsey, can you see their tails moving? So yeah. That means they're getting milk. Even though they're not boop, 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 booping.
Just kick Cyan off.
Oh, Cyan just got off the nipple. Okay, all right, we gotta move that Cyan back on the nipple here, because she needs the most milk at this point. So we're gonna move you over down a little bit. Oh my goodness, there's like some sort of red mark here by her nipple. Did you see this?
It's meant to say probably sucked on it, on that spot. It's like a hickey for a dog.
Maybe. So how about you go under? Would you like there's a nipple down here, honey. There's one down there. I'll move it up and so you can grab it. There you go. There's a nipple down there. There. Perfect. All right. So we got one right here in a corner. It's not really feeding, but I think you finally noticed that there's food at the milk bar, huh? Is there food at the milk bar? There you go. There you go. You can see like their eyes twinkling in the light. Can you see their eyes twinkling a little bit? Oh my goodness, aren't they cute? All right, so has anybody commented on the comment section? Marianne, hi Marianne. Aren't they super cute? So what will happen after they're done is they'll all fall into a milk drunk state where they kind of stumble around and they can't walk anymore. So those eyes opening have made them so super cute. Oh my goodness. All right, see those tails, how they're kind of up in the air, they're angled and they're like wagging just a tiny bit. They're shaking almost. That means they're finally getting milk. So that boop, see them hear them making noises? The boop, boop, boop noises? That means there's milk coming in. Okay, we can't have you taking Cyan's boob because that is the most nutritious one for her because she's small. There you go. There's a boob right there. I'm sorry, but you can't have her boob. There you go. It's okay, Leia. Stay. So now they're getting the smell of the low blood sugar here in combination with food, and it's imprinting them for low blood sugar scent. All right, Chocolate. I don't want you taking that boob. Okay, so I'm going to show you little Chocolate here. Little Chocolate puppy. I can't really see it from. Here's a little Chocolate one. He's like, put me down. I want food. So we're just going to put him down over here so he doesn't steal anybody's really, really good nipple. Leia, 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 lay down. Leia, come on. Leia, please. Lay down. Good girl. Yeah, there's probably a bottom nipple right here. Bottom nipple right there. There you go. There's a bottom nipple. Yeah, so the reason why we don't want to knock Cyan off the boob is because that boob is the most nutritious there, and she's really small compared to everybody else. She's like, I don't know, 150 grams less maybe than everybody else. So that means she can get knocked off the nipple accidentally, and she gets less nutrition. All right, so I think Gray Boy has just decided to steal the nipple. I don't know.
No, she moved.
Okay, she moved. Okay, all right. Hi, Tracy. I don't think you're one of our puppy students, but if you are, nice to see that you're here. And if you aren't, then, you know, we do have puppies available still from this litter that are available for, and from the imaging litter, that are available for pet dog homes as well as service dog homes. And so we'll start them on food on Thursday, on real food on Thursday. We have noticed that Imogene's puppies have started to get interested in her dog food, but we really don't want to start them on dog food until they're, you know, really ready to do it, because what can happen right now is you see their main way of eating is to suck, and if we try to give them food before they can actually you know, eat normally, then they can end up aspirating food. So we don't want to completely give them food until they're, you know, neurologically able to eat it. I mean, technically we could force food on them, but we don't want to do that. We don't want to end up with anybody getting sick. Right, Leah? You're such a good mama. She's like, I'm ready to be done with this.
One of them's upside down.
Yep. And that's just kind of the way that it is. Like, sometimes they'll be upside down, sometimes they'll not. And you can see how the puppies are kind of pushing in and then pulling out, and then pushing in and pulling out. And that means that they're not getting milk right now. So what that does is that stimulates mom to produce more milk. And you'll see when they actually produce milk, they'll stop doing that pushing, pulling action. And then their tails will go up in the air. Someone is upside down. That's Blue upside down right now.
Oh my goodness.
Now, that actually may be, they're getting more milk now. You see the tails going up, angling up like that? And they're twitching just a little bit. So they'll make that noise right before they go into that boop, 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 boop sounding noise. So the tails are kind of angling up. So they're getting some milk, but they're not getting a ton of milk all at once right now. This is actually a pretty decent amount of light for these, to be able to capture all these puppies. I'm very glad I use these lights here. Now they're getting, now that, see how one is twitching and he stopped pulling, pushing and pulling? That means the milk is coming down now. park right now, but whatever it is, it's not worth it. Yep, they all got teeth. And so we like to touch them, pull their tails, you know, get them used to being touched every day and held. Because if not, then when they go to your house, they're not going to really like you. So it's important that they like humans. Imogene, leave her food alone. Leave it. Your knucklehead, silly dog. It's empty. Touch their ears. And soon their ears will be opening. I can't remember when they're supposed to open exactly, but they'll be opening soon. So that means we got to keep her quiet for a couple of days while they're getting used to the sound that comes out of their ears.
There's our first drunkard.
Yeah, there's the first drunk puppy. And so what happens is when one nipple stops producing food, they all kind of, it usually stops all at once, and they all start scrambling around looking for a nipple that'll produce food. That's enough. No playing, you guys. No more playing. All right, so sounds good. I can hardly see the collars. Yeah, their coats are really long right now. So we don't know who is who right yet either until we actually pull down their collar and look at them. Leia, can you lay down, honey? Lay down. Good girl. Very good job. There's a puppy coming. Yeah, good job. And so right now she started the cleaning process, even though that they're still feeding. So now we got some stumbling going on here in the puppy in the corner. You can see going into the corner. And we've been holding them and touching them, and you know, they finally started to play a little bit. Oh, we got one panting over here for the first time ever. So we've got a little puppy in the corner over here that's panting. So that means he's hot, so we got to turn off one of these heat lamps. He's actually able to self-regulate his temperature now, which is kind of amazing. Oops, I didn't mean to unplug that one. That was not the one I wanted to unplug. Like that. I'll turn the light on in a second, sorry. Ooh, just blinded myself. There we go. All right. Oh, cool. I'm glad you got the email updating them. So we had the first sign of panting on video here, which is kind of cool. So prior to this time, they are really unable to regulate their own temperature. That's why you have to have the heat lamps on. We have to keep it really super warm in here. It's because they're unable to regulate temperature. Milk drunk! But now they're getting to the point where they're going to be able to regulate their own temperature. So they can pant if they get hot, and they can keep themselves warm as well with their body and their hair. Good job. And the hand that you're seeing in the corner here is Kelsey. She is actually one of our migraine students, and she has a puppy that was trained, what, in 2016 or something?
Yes.
Yeah, 2016. And she has come to help volunteer with these puppies so we can make sure that your puppies get as much attention as possible. And I think it was yesterday or the day before, we had one of our pet dog parents who came by and played with the puppies and held them and stuff. So if anybody is close to us, they're welcome. Just send me a text message and you're welcome to stop on by. As soon as we clear you, make sure you don't have any, you haven't played with a dog or gone to a dog park, or if you're a trainer, you can't have a trainer, we shouldn't have you come here, but because we got to keep the place as clean as possible, make sure that puppies don't end up getting parvo, distemper. But you're welcome to come and interact with the puppies and touch them and play with them. And in about a week or so, they'll start to really be active and really be playing and really be having fun. And, just a little bit of training as well.
Apparently I need to be cleaning too.
Yeah, you need to be cleaning. You got puppies set on you.
These are babies. I don't need to clean.
Anybody have any questions for me? teeny. They're so teeny, they're homogeneous. And they're so soft right now, aren't they? It's like almost like teddy bear fur they've got. See how he's panting? That's the first pant. That's the first panting puppy. So super cute. Oh my gosh. It's and the other thing too that's happening with these puppies is that now that their eyes are open, when mom walks by, they will sit and try to get on the nipple, which is great for their neurological development. It means that they're starting to be able to see very well, and yeah, it's great for them to learn to use those back legs and to balance as well. Leia's panting. She's hot now.
Poor mama. She's a good mama.
Yeah, she's a good girl. I see that another person has joined. Welcome. Whoever you are, you're welcome to ask a question in the comments if you have a question for me. Hi, Kim.
Ravenous beasts.
Are you interested in a puppy? Because there are puppies from this litter that are available for pet dog home and service dog home. Put it down just a little bit. There we go. Down just a little bit further. So what she's doing right now is she's presenting the puppy to mom so she can stimulate the puppy to go to the bathroom. Puppies this young can't always control their bladder and their bowels, so they kind of need to be stimulated by mom to go to the bathroom. If you can hold it down just a little bit more, we can see the face, which is the cutest part. It's the cutest part, right? Look at those eyes. What eyes? Little face. You can't get a puppy at the moment? Well, that's all right. That's perfectly fine. But if you are interested in a puppy, I'd recommend going to my YouTube channel. And there's a 1.5-hour webinar on how to find a good breeder. So if you are going to get a puppy, you want to make sure that your puppy is as socialized as possible, is doing the things that we were doing with our puppies, like touching them and interacting with them. They're in the home environment. They can hear, they can smell everything that's going around here, so that when they bring them to your house, they haven't just been living in a barn or something and are used to the barn and not having anybody interact with them. Like, we're planning on having the Girl Scout troops come in and the Boy Scouts and have them play with the puppies. We're going to be taking them to the nursing home. We're going to take them to the fire station. You know, we're going to do as much socialization with them as possible that we can do safely. Like, we wouldn't want to take them to the dog park or anything like that, because, you know, then they could potentially end up with, you know, diseases and stuff. But we want to make sure that they all get as much socialization here, and that actually helps with their brain development for the future. Oh my goodness, that chocolate one is so super cute right now. So the more socialization they have prior to going to your house, the better off they're going to be for you, and the better off they're going to be permanently for the rest of their lives. So we're literally either making or killing 10 million brain cells a week. And the less interaction they get, that means the less brain cells they're going to be keeping. The more interaction they get, the more brain cells they're going to be making. So you can literally do brain damage to a puppy by not having it interact with people, not having it, you know, in a supportive environment. It's so critical, the stuff that we're doing, and we're literally laying the foundation for circus work here, just by touching them, interacting with them, talking to them, doing training. Like, before these puppies go home, they get, you know, sit training, they get watch me training, they get target training for targeting hands, you know, and they also get the imprinting that we're doing as well. So they get a lot of training prior to going home that you wouldn't normally get with just a average everyday backyard breeder. So introducing them to others and taking them on controlled outings will be about 6 to 7 weeks of age, depending on their neurological development at that point and what they're doing and how they're acting. And then also their immunity. So I think Leia's puppies have a vaccine window of 7 weeks, which means we won't be able to do too much with them other than really super safe environments like the nursing home and the fire station. We won't be able to do too much with them because of their vaccine window, which means that they will be susceptible to parvo between 6 weeks and 7 weeks because of the titer that we did. I don't know what's happening over there. What's happening over there? Oh, someone's curled up in the corner of Leia's side here. Oh my goodness, there you go. Now you can lay down, Leia. Ooh, perfect. Thank you, Amy and Jim, for commenting. I see your text coming in. So, yeah, we will have them go to the fire department, and we'll have, you know, probably paramedics working with them as well if we can get them. So, I have a friend from when I was living here as a child who's Imogene's pups are all in her little box over here. So, we can show you Imogene's pups. They're not as active right now. They're all kind of sleeping. Right? All the little puppers are sleeping right now. So there's Imogene's puppies. I call her Imogene, or I call her Teeny Weeny Imogene Yellow Polka Dog Bikini. That's her name too. So they're not as active right now as these guys are. Right? Not as active as these guys are right now.
I was just showing them the different coats already.
Yeah. So they've got different coat types. So you can see that this one, you can move it over kind of in the middle of her belly. There you go. That one has a really super curly coat. And so that one's going to be kind of more fleece-like and be less shedding than, say, this one, this chocolate one. Its coat is a little bit more flat. So that might have more of a Labrador type coat, but it'll still be long and doodle-like. It just won't be as doodly as that little curly one there.
Look at that belly.
Yeah, those are big, fat, wonderful, yummy bellies, right? Oh, yeah, pepper puppers. Oh. Does anybody else have any more questions for us? You can see they're kind of like congregating a little bit together. They're sniffing each other. Now that they've got their eyes open, they're going to start. So no, not both litters are not half poodle. So this litter is half poodle here, but the other litter is 75% poodle. So it was, the mom is right here with Kelsey. Imogene, Teeny, want to see? Teeny. There's Imogene. You sit? Teeny, sit please, thank you. That's the other mama. She is half poodle. And that's actually her daughter. So. Oh my goodness, they're so cute right now.
They're so hungry.
Yeah, they are. They're like little zombies sometimes. They're so hungry. They're just hungry all the time.
Milk zombies.
Yep. Oh, yawn. Look at that yawn. Oh. So they're getting tired now that they've nursed and they've got their belly full. They get tired and then they pass out. And then we just wait for the next round. You can see one of them has like little white tips on the bottom of their feet. So that means that they're going to be, they're going to be either a combination of white and black. So they might end up kind of black and white, or they might end up like with a gray combination. Like I'm going to show you a photo of one of my students' dogs. Where is that photo? So you can see what the combination looks like, the brown and white or the black and white. There we go. Hopefully I'll be able to pull up that image here so you can see it. There we go. So this is what a brown and white puppy will probably look like. Because the dad was brown and white. So you can see the dog is brown, but it's actually got some white streaks in it, and it kind of looks like the dog is a little bit older than it really is. And then we've got, I have a picture of a black and white one here in my phone as well. So I can pull up that in a second. Hold on a minute. It'll take me a few minutes to get a good photo here. There we go. And we got one with our student here. This is one of our students as well. So you can see the combination of black and white there with that student. So that's the coloring that you might get as well with these puppies. All right. So even though they're kind of solid color right now, they'll probably end up with that kind of like mottled coloring where they've got white and grayish. They kind of look grayish sometimes with them. So anybody else have any more questions for me? And you can see how clean those pads are that they're on right now. They're pretty clean. We change those every 12 hours to make sure that we're gonna help with potty training. So these puppies actually get potty training before they go home. There's a lot of work that goes into potty training. And if your breeder does it, then that's less work that you have to do. Plus, it helps with them, you know, build up brain cells as well. So starting on Thursday, we'll introduce a potty box. No, actually, we have to do it in a couple days. So Tuesday, yeah. Probably more like Monday, actually. We'll start introducing the potty box, because if you introduce it now, they don't eat the pellets. But if they introduce it at the time in which they want food, sometimes they will consume the pellets. So it's a good time to introduce the potty box actually now versus in a couple of weeks, because then they will decide to eat the potty pellets, and we don't want that to happen. And we don't potty train to potty pads. Yeah, the toys will probably start today or tomorrow. And but we don't use potty pads because they end up shredding them when they get a little bit older. So we use the pellets instead. One's a little dragging himself all over the. He's tired. That one's tired.
Stop playing with my feet.
Oh, we got one backing up.
Run, little girl, run.
Yeah, we don't like potty pads. 'Cause one, they're expensive, and number two, they end up shredding them, and they can end up, you know, getting pretty sick after shredding them and eating them. And it just becomes a big mess anyway.
My girl, when we tried to use potty pads, she
Mhm.
only learned to train on the potty pads. So I had to start
Exactly.
pulling the potty pads outside.
Yep. Well, that's what they'll have to do with their potty box. They'll have to move it closer and closer to the door until they eventually get it outside. But
it's on anything that looks like a potty pad.
Exactly.
Bathroom mats,
Exactly.
blankets,
Yeah, that's what
rugs.
happens with potty pads. Exactly. They don't want to go outside. Yeah. And Marianne just commented they don't want to go outside, and that's totally true. So we use pellets, wood pellets, that you put down on like in horse barns and stuff like that.
Doggy cat litter box.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. It is. You haven't seen it yet, but it really is.
I haven't seen it though.
Yeah.
Where'd you going? Too tired to get all
Too tired to get up. Yeah, we're milk drunk now. So.
Oh, sleepy babies.
And the reason why we've got these nice pads in here too is because if we were to put down newspaper like a lot of breeders do, what happens is that ends up affecting their joint development. So they slip and slide a lot on newspaper. But if they're on like these are actually pads that you have in nursing homes that cover the bed in the nursing home for incontinence, and they're easy to wash, they're reusable, and we can sanitize them. And the issue with newspaper is that again that causes joint issues. So right now they're in the biggest development period of their entire lives basically right now. And the more that they're slipping and sliding around, the more damage that they can do to their joints, their hips and their elbows. So it's really super important that they have as much grip as possible right now. So that when you get your puppy has a ton of, hasn't been slipping and sliding around for the last 8 weeks while they're trying to feed. Which you can see that frantic pace that they were at when they were trying to get nipples. I mean, they can work themselves up to the point to where they end up, not gaining as much weight as they should because they can't reach the nipple, or they're sliding around and they can't get a good grip on the nipple. So it's important to have a nice grippy surface that they can walk on and they don't slip and slide around on. And they start to become ticklish too. So you can see she's tickling the puppy. They start to become ticklish now. So you can tickle their belly and they'll start to move their feet.
I'll stop messing with them.
That's okay. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good for them. You can see they're still doing that little jerking every once in a while, and that's total normal neurological development.
Dream running.
Yeah, they're dreaming. There's one that looks like it's really running in its dream right now. You see the movement of the paws, just a little bit. stop for a second there, but you know, that may, even though they don't know how to run yet, they kind of run in their dreams, which is kind of interesting to watch. You know, when they were a week old, all they were doing was just, you know, they would jerk or they would move a single paw. But now that they're a little bit older, they actually start running in a normal running pattern. Yes, so these puppies are imprinted with narcolepsy scent, migraines, POTS, and diabetes scent. So we did the scent imprinting probably before you arrived on the video. If you, at the end of this, what you can do is once this video processes, YouTube processes video, you can go see us doing the imprinting. So we try and get them every time they start to go and feed on mom. We try to do the imprinting at that point. I mean, I can't really do anything at night when I'm sleeping, but so if you have questions about POTS, then you can go ahead and email me. I mean, there's some POTS videos there's some videos that I have on my YouTube channel about POTS alert dog training. But these puppies do have POTS scents because there are at least, I think there's 2 students that have POTS that have sent us scent samples already. So we're using their scent. We don't know if everybody with POTS smells the same. Same thing goes with migraines. We don't know if everybody with migraines smell the same. We do have a student that actually had a mother and a daughter. They both had migraines, and the dog alerts to both of their migraines. But again, that may be a family thing. They may be like all family members smell the same when they're having migraines. We don't know for sure.
Shared genetics.
Yeah, shared genetic, exactly. But for POTS, we don't know if everybody smells the same. So if you want the dog imprinted with your individual scent, you need to, you know, you need to get on the, you know, get one of these puppies, and then we'll tell you how to collect samples and have you send the samples to us so we can imprint them. So I used to do Skype sessions. If you have questions, you know, then you can go ahead and schedule a Skype session, and we'll be happy to help you. Yeah, so just go to the website and purchase a Skype session if you have questions, and you know. But here's the deal: the vast majority of your questions should be answered through the free resources on our YouTube channel and then the website. You don't necessarily have to purchase a Skype session, you know, before you work with us. It's not really required at all. But if you're having the reason why I suggest that you call us before you decide to get one of these puppies is I need to make sure that you're having episodes frequently enough. So if you're having episodes at least once every week, then we should definitely be able to help you collect your scent samples and have you send them in. But if you're not having episodes at least once a week, it's a little bit harder to collect scent samples, so it might take a little bit longer. But you can still do it. It's just going to take a little bit longer time. And I have worked with several students with vasovagal syncope. So if that's the type of syncope that you have, then yes, we've done that before. In fact, that was actually done in 2011, I think. So, you know, I've been working with that for a while. And we also have students who have had their dogs imprinted or had their dogs trained for AFib as well. So I don't know if you said you were having issues with syncope and heart issues, but yeah, we have dogs that alert to AFib as well. But we don't have any imprinted samples here. Well, if you already have a breeder in mind, I would recommend just making sure that you are working with a quality breeder and going through our YouTube channel. There's an 1.5-hour webinar on how to choose a breeder. And even if you do have a breeder already, just make sure that your breeder is doing the same stuff that we are, because again, each week they are making or killing 10 million brain cells every week. And if your breeder is not doing the stuff that we're doing here every single day and interacting with your puppies, they are literally doing brain damage to your puppies. So it would be best if you worked with someone who, like me, is doing all of the same type of stuff that we're doing, is imprinting, is doing the neurological development, the early scent introduction. They're doing puppy culture. Good, yeah. So yeah, puppy culture is good. Health testing is good. Early exposure. We have them out. We have them go to the fire station, play with firefighters. Have the Girl Scouts come in and interact with them. We have the Boy Scouts coming in. We have people randomly dropping by to interact with them. And the more people that they're introduced to now and the more handling they get now, the better off they're going to be as a service dog candidate for you. So, for example, I had a person donate a puppy to me, to my program. And, one of my students was, she's really poor and she didn't want to get one of our puppies because she, was financially struggling. And so she had a puppy donated to her and she wanted to board the puppy with me. And I got that puppy and it was literally 8 weeks old and it was terrified of the nursing home. That's the lowest distraction environment that you can take a puppy into. The nursing home, there's not anybody moving in there. No one's moving, no one's yelling, no one's, it's the lowest distraction environment possible. And that dog just could not even handle the nursing home. I tried to take it to church. That's an incredibly low distraction environment as well. Didn't do good in church, and I was like, I don't think this puppy is going to make it at this point because it's literally so far behind that there's the possibility of it not actually being good for service work because it had. And when you looked through the breeder's file, through their Facebook page, all you saw was the dogs outside. And it was interacting with teenagers. And the interesting thing that happened was I took it to a football game. And the dog was really great. So it was really great at the football game, but everything else, because it had been outdoors. The football games are held outdoors. So the dog was really great outdoors with teenagers. That's what it had been used to. Outdoors with teenagers. It was okay outdoors with teenagers. And the other thing that happened though was when it started loud noise, the dog totally freaked out. In here, what we will be doing is we will be dropping pans. We're going to be making noises, to get them used to loud noises so that we don't have any issues when your puppy is really young. And you could take your dog, almost anywhere that's, mentally suitable for it. So it's so important to do this work because if not, you could end up with a dog that is not suitable for service work, or you have to do a ton more work than what you would have to do if you get a puppy from us. So I see that Callie, you had a question. Yeah, you hear about breeders donating dogs, but you don't understand that just because a dog has been donated doesn't mean it's the best dog for service work. It's just the dog that's left over. And the dog that's left over could be the dog that had neurological issues, and had, maybe it had been the runt or something like that. Even though the runts can still end up being good dogs, they don't always get the best nutrition. Like one of the runt in Imogene's litter, it's much smaller than the other puppies, and its eyes didn't open until 3 days after all the other puppies. So Kelsey is going and grabbing the runt out of Imogene's litter. Her eyes have finally opened. You can see she's going to bring the two puppies together, and you can see the size difference. Perfect, yeah. So there's a very big size difference between the two. One is about 600 grams larger than the other, and so the small one is about 1,000 grams, and the big one is about 1,700 grams. So there's a big size difference there, and there sometimes can be neurological problems that happen with, one dog versus another. So just because, yeah, we play music on speakers, exactly, yeah. I hope to work and donate a dog to someone after my birth. Perfect. That would be great. We would love to have you donate a dog to our program to be able to help us increase the genetic diversity of our puppies. And then also, if we have a student that needs a dog, we can do that. We can donate the puppy to the student. But yeah, we strive to do as much as possible to make these dogs successful for service work.
What's the fail rate for a dog to go all the way from this first phase where they're puppies to the second phase when they start getting training after 8 weeks to public access and everything like that?
So for guide dogs, the failure rate used to be about 75%.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. So the failure rate for guide dogs used to be at about 75%, and they were trained, they were programmed for, generations back to be the way that they are. They have puppy raisers who have the same program every single time. They all do the same type of training, and then also they work with a experienced trainer at the end of the program. And the dropout and the failure rate was 75%. But now that they're doing some of the stuff that we've been doing, they do positive reinforcement training. They do the neurological stimulation. They do all of the training that we've been doing here. They end up, there's a 25% dropout rate now with that. So the positive reinforcement training has made a gigantic difference in the rate in which the success rate of these puppies. So Imogene has now gone into her area, and I'm just going to move the camera over to Imogene's area so you can see some of Imogene's puppies. There's my teeny weeny Imogene, our polka dot bikini. So now we're going to do some imprinting. So we've got Imogene in here with these puppies, and now we're going to do some imprinting. I gotta find the scent source. I don't know where I put it. So we're going to take our scent source and rub it on Mama's belly, and then rub it on the puppy's noses so that they get the smell of the low blood sugar, the narcolepsy, the migraines, everything in their nose, and then they get to eat. So here we go. Good job. Stay, Imogene. So we put it on the nose a little bit. Put it on the nose, and then we put it on the teats as well. So they smell that, and they also get the food at the same time. So again, we're introducing them to scent. And again, just because your breeder does imprinting doesn't necessarily mean that the dog is going to be suitable for service work. It's all the other stuff that we do for these puppies to make them successful. The taking them to the fire station, having the paramedics interact with them, having the Girl Scouts come in, the Boy Scouts. Most breeders will not do that stuff because they're worried about their puppies getting, parvo or distemper or anything like that. They're worried about diseases. But in reality, I would rather, so what we do is we titer these puppies, we titer the mom, so we know when their immunity is going to run out. So we know that it's possible that they can safely be introduced to the world without worrying about diseases, because their mother's immunity affects their immunity as well. If they've gotten colostrum, then their immunity is going to be better than if they hadn't gotten colostrum. Yeah, so we can put her underneath here because there's probably there's a boob right. No, yes, there's a boob here. So we'll put her back here with a boob that we've put some scent sample on. And oops, did you just steal that boob from her? Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's some scent there. Perfect. So I'm going to go and see your comments now. So again, just because somebody says they've imprinted your puppies does not mean that they're going to be suitable for service work. It's everything else that we're doing with these puppies that makes them much better candidates than some random person that just decides to imprint their puppies. Do you put all the scents or just one? So we put them all in a container. So we can tell you, if you want to get one of our puppies, we can tell you how to capture scent for your dog. I see someone ask, how do you collect a scent? We can tell you that as soon as you put your deposit down on the puppy. Yeah, so if you're not getting a dog that's bred for service work, you need to make sure that you're doing that. You're saying that your breeder breeds specifically for show puppies, and that's a dog that may not have the temperament for service work. So it's really important to work with someone like me who breeds specifically for service work. Imogene is a service dog. She comes from a line of service dogs and a service dog program, and the male puppy, the male that sired this litter, is from a service dog program. So they have service dog temperaments. So you can see that they're actually getting milk now. The tails are flipping, they're up at an angle, and they're kind of shaking. That means they're actually getting milk. So we're trying to make sure everybody gets milk here. Hi, Robin! Yay! Nice to see you. So Robin is one of our students, and she's got a puppy she has what type of dog do you have, Robin? It's some sort of Lhasa Poo or something, or Maltipoo, or I can't remember exactly what it is, but, you know, she is working with her dog to alert to her medical conditions. And she's actually a second generation student as well. So we actually have been open, you know, in business long enough that we have second generation students now. Kelsey is a second generation student here. Yeah, make sure your breeder at least temperament tests the puppies. That's a very good point too. Maltipoo, that's what it is. Okay, perfect. That little guy in the end is working hard to get some. Yeah, that is our big. Yes, you want to take the orange one off because that girl is so big that she eats all of the food almost. You want to put purple on the nipple that she is supposed to be on. This one that she likes. There we go. So we also rearrange the puppies to make sure they get their optimum nutrition level. I feel like we're playing puppy roulette. Yeah, which card is the one we're gonna choose? So we want to make sure that the big one, she can be put on a nipple that doesn't always get the best nutrition, but the smaller ones we want to make sure that they get the most nutrition. Do we have to get a puppy from you in order to get this information, or is there a way I can pay for the information and train my own? So you have to take one of our classes to get that information, or you can get a puppy from us. It depends on what you want to do. We don't give away that information for free, but we do give away the information on how to choose a good breeder for free. So if you want just a normal pet dog, there's a 1.5 hour webinar on our YouTube channel for free that anybody can watch, and it'll tell you how to find a really, really good breeder. I thought that information was super important for anybody. You know, just in case you don't want a Labradoodle, if you want a German Shepherd, I don't recommend it, but if you want a German Shepherd or something like that, I don't breed German Shepherds, but I thought it was important that you get the information just in case you wanted to use a breed that we didn't breed. I would recommend, though, watching my YouTube channel because there's information on why we choose to use Labradoodles because of the discrimination that goes on. Like if you're in Seattle, it's one thing, or if you're in Los Angeles, it's one thing. But if you are in the Midwest, like I am, there's a lot of service dog discrimination that goes on here. So yeah, she's redirecting her to the nipple, but I think she's exhausted. I think she might be kind of full. Thank you for the compliment, Robin. Yeah, again, I'm one of the top medical alert dog trainers in the country. You know, I've helped to train over 200 service dogs at this point for medical alert. This is all that I do. I don't mess around with the pet dogs or anything like that. I just do medical alert dog training. So you can see it's a lot of management. Kelsey's in here picking dogs off. It's a lot of management to make sure everybody gets the optimal amount of nutrition. Nobody steals anybody else's nipple. You know, it's a lot of work to make sure everybody, because these guys, the two big ones over here, they're so big that if we don't pop them off, they'll steal all the nutrition from the younger puppies, the littler puppies, and that's not what we want for you. We want those little puppies to also get the same amount of nutrition.
Why is that? Why do you want them all to have the same amount of nutrition?
Because we don't want anybody to be starved developmentally.
So does that mean like the milk and stuff, like the more milk and stuff they get at this stage, the
smarter they're going to be.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So if we have to supplement puppies, it literally affects their brain development. But if we do this where we move them, I don't know if you see my finger, you can't, but if we move them onto the smaller ones on the nutritionally optimum nipples, which are the kind of the back end nipples, then they all get the smaller ones, so we don't have to supplement them, which can affect their brain development. Yeah, you want to mute it or something? Yeah. So those nipples there are the most nutritious ones, the back ones. The ones in the front, they're less, they produce less milk. So again, the more we can affect their nutrition, the better off they're going to be in terms of their brain development. So there was another question. You're interested in the courses? The website should be working. Sometimes it ends up down because I send out an email to like 8,000 people and they all slam my website all at the same time. So that's why it can be down sometimes. Especially if you're on my email list and you click on a link, it just ends up sometimes slamming my site all at once. But yeah, the next class that we're going to teach is in January for the medical alert dog, and that class, it'll probably be 2 classes, but we will have a significant discount for someone who gets one of our puppies if they take the medical alert dog class. So they get a really super big discount for taking our medical alert dog class. And that's to encourage you to take the class as soon as possible, because that will allow me to answer your puppy questions. That'll allow me to make sure that your puppy is successful and is in the right puppy classes, you know, and I want you to start training as soon as possible, because you can get dogs as young as 3 months of age alerting already. I mean, they seem like they wouldn't be able to, but they are. They are actually able to alert. Our youngest alerter was 3 months old, and you can see his testimony on the doctor's TV show. He has EDS, has cranial cervical instability, and myotonia. So all of his issues are caused by caused paralysis episodes, and his dog alerts like a champion to all 3. And he also has potassium deficiency as well. So the dog alerts to all 3 conditions and has a separate alert for each medical condition. And so he knows if it's one condition, then he knows to take his potassium. If it's another condition, he knows that he's got to lay down. Yep, the classes are online, exactly. So they are all taught over Zoom conferencing. And then the video is when you take the class, we record the entire session. So you have access to that video for an entire year for reference. You know, if you have any additional questions, the videos are there for additional reference as well. So you don't have to fly into classes anymore. You can do it all online, but you will have to work with a positive reinforcement trainer in your area to do the, public access training and the socialization and stuff like that. I don't have a start date for the medical alert dog class, Marianne, but I will eventually soon. I just don't have it yet. Oh, someone's yawning in the corner over here.
He's playing with me.
He's playing with you. Okay.
Oh,
another zebra. Yeah, welcome to see the dogs. These dogs do
That's
things
his
for
foot.
invisible
Why are you
disabilities
eating
as
his
well.
foot?
Exactly. Yep. Another zebra. I know what you're talking about. Yep. Periodic paralysis is another zebra. You're right. Yep. Hypokalemic periodic paralysis, HKPP. That's what the dog is trained to alert to. So again, a lot of the medical alert dog training that I've done has been experimental, and they've all worked out, which is kind of amazing. I mean, I helped train a dog that alerted to a 5-year-old child with spina bifida, or not a 5. He was 8 years old. He was 8 years old. He had spina bifida, and he couldn't sense when he had to go to the bathroom. And I trained a dog to alert to when the child had to go to the bathroom, so his mom didn't have to change his diapers anymore. Which, when you're 8 years old, that becomes kind of an embarrassing thing. So now the kid has a warning when he has to go to the bathroom. It's kind of amazing what these dogs are able to do. It's really amazing. And there are so many alert dogs that I've experimented with that you guys have no idea. It's kind of one-offs, and I haven't really advertised them because I don't, want to say that a dog can do something until I've got proof over and over again that it happens. So a lot of the experimental dogs you haven't even heard about yet, because I haven't really talked about them until I'm absolutely positively sure that the dog alerts to it. We got at least a couple students who the dogs are alerting to. Oh, someone's milk drunk. Someone's milk drunk over here. So even if you have a deposit on a litter, it's much better to, you have some on someone else's litter. It's much better to lose a $300 puppy deposit, which is the equivalent of, if you like spread that out over 12 years, it's like the equivalent of like 0.05 cents every day that you would be wasting just losing your deposit on someone else's litter to be able to get one of the puppies from our litter, because it's so important for this neurological development that you get as much socialization in as possible, as much handling. Like in a couple of weeks, we'll have them going through tunnels. We'll have them Okay, if someone's telling you can't scent train for POTS or migraines, they're totally. You want to talk about that a little bit, Kelsey? You want to talk about it or not?
Sure.
Okay. So Kelsey here is one of our migraine students who also heard, oh, you can't train for migraines, right?
Yeah, I've never heard of a migraine alert dog. That most people that I talk to, don't tell me this. Like, that's not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was hit in the head by a Humvee door while I was active duty and suffer from chronic migraines. I was having them almost every other day, and they were getting so bad that I was hospitalized quite often. And then it really got serious when half of my body became paralyzed and I couldn't see out of my left side. So we spent almost 3 years trying anything you could think of, like some good things, some bad things, but nothing seemed to really work until I legitimately stumbled across one of Mary's videos online, and she talked about a migraine alert dog. I instantly contacted her, and within, I think, 6 months, I had a puppy that was trained for me for medical alert, and she's phenomenal. Like, she does not miss at all. I'm not just saying that because I'm in Mary's house helping her. I'm legitimately, it's the truth. She loves it. She's a Shiba Inu, and I don't know if you guys know what a Shiba Inu is, but they're not the most trainable dogs. When it comes to her obedience and stuff, it's touch and go. But when it comes to alerting, like, it's completely like a different dog. She will do anything to alert. It's almost borderline, what's the word, like obsessive. Yeah.
Yep.
And she loves it, and so she can be trained, and it's reduced my migraines because I'm able to take a preventative, what's called like an abort medication, before she alerts me 30 minutes prior to me having one, so I can take my abort medication, and it works 85% of the time.
Oh, I didn't know that. You didn't tell me that.
I said she's spot on.
Wow.
She's never missed until you know it.
Yeah.
Did you see this puppy has fallen asleep on my hand?
No, I didn't. Oh my goodness.
Are you snoring, Mom?
She is snoring. Leia's out here snoring right now.
Oh, there she's dreaming too.
And looks like she's dreaming as well. Her back end's moving. See that toe move there? So do you have any questions for me? Maybe even about migraine training or questions for Kelsey? Yeah, so Kelsey is here because of all the things that were done for her, for her medical alert dog. And we work with our students as much as possible. This is not just a one-off.
Anytime
you want to tell them about your experience?
Okay, so I don't know anything about service dogs. I've seen them on TV and everything. Like, before I met Mary, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. Like, I didn't know how to pick a puppy. I didn't know what I should be looking for. Like, I had no idea what kind of, like, how the heck are you supposed to train a dog to alert to migraines? Like, if I can't tell the difference, how is a dog supposed to do it? And like, I've been in situations where one time I went to a concert, and she was alerting me 3/4 of the way into that concert, and her okay signal to let me know that I saw it and I got it and I was taking my abort medication was to physically show her taking my abort medication. Well, because of all the lights, and like the strobe lights and everything else that was going on, and the smoke and the sound, she couldn't see me take my pill, and she couldn't hear me tell her, good alert, good alert, good alert. Oh, am I allowed to say that right now?
Yeah.
I don't want her to freak out.
No. Well.
Like, she didn't hear me, so I was texting Mary's like, what do I do? What do I do? Like, she doesn't know, she's still going. And she's like, take her somewhere quiet, out of the way, and then just pretend to eat a pill. And I did that, and she calmed down immediately. Like, anytime I've had a question over the last 2.5 years, like, Mary has been right there within at least 30 minutes to an hour, texting me, hey, just try this, or call me, and we'll talk about it. I'm here pro bono. Like, I'm not here getting paid. I'm not taking a puppy or anything like that. I'm here because the amazing everything she did for me. For being someone so active to be in a position that was just completely and utterly unlike what I was used to. Being bedridden all the time. I hated it. I hated myself. I wanted it all to end. I saw no future. and she gave me more than I could ever give her in turn. So I came here of my own free will because she needed help, just because she asked me to. That's the kind of person Mary is. Sorry, I don't want to.
It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. So they asked if your puppy has woken you up to tell you of a migraine.
No, but I've never gotten a migraine at night. But one thing she did start doing is, I have night terrors, and I didn't train her for this. She just started doing this on her own about 6 months after I completed the program and did public access, and she was at home, you know, and we did training like once or twice a day. After that, she would, all of a sudden I was having night terrors, and my significant other could not wake me up from them. But if her name is Sakura, if she came up, she learned to start licking my face. When she licked my face, I would wake up.
That's amazing.
So it's a weird thing, and I didn't train her to do that. I think she just recognized that my body was, like, I was in distress,
Yep.
and turned her alert dog training into something else, and like it's helped me a lot.
And that's not unusual. Like, we have a student on our Facebook page saying the exact same thing, that the dog was trained to alert to AFib, and then within a couple weeks of learning to alert to AFib, started to alerting to her sleep apnea when she took her mask off. So the dog wasn't even trained for that, but because it had our training program and had been taught to actually think with its brain, you know, we do a lot of training to teach the dog to actually utilize their brain cells, and don't wait to be told to do something. Try and figure it out yourself. The dog actually alerts to her taking her mask off, and will prod her and poke her and interact with her until she puts her mask back on, so she doesn't, you know, end up with brain and heart problems from sleep apnea at night. So there are a lot of things that these dogs are able to do, even though they haven't been trained to do it. A lot of them end up doing it spontaneously on their own. So I'm going to see if we've got any more questions here. You faint almost daily? Oh my goodness. Yeah. So your dog should be able to alert you prior to those episodes. So about 75% of our dogs wake a person up at night. It's not guaranteed, but about 75% of our students get a dog that alerts at night. How long do scent samples last? So I've had scent samples in my freezer for about 2 years, and the dog still alerts to it, but they're in, you know, highly controlled containers. You know, those containers are like scientific containers. And 3 days in the refrigerator, that's true, and 3 hours at room temp. I don't know if that's true for sure. We actually make, well, I'll talk to you about that individually. But yeah, 3 hours at room temp is not necessarily true. And thank you, Marianne. Marianne is also, so M. Rutherford, who's on this video as well, she's actually a second student as well. So she's had a service dog pass away, and she is getting a puppy from us because she had her own dog when she came to us, but her dog passed away. So she is a secondary replacement dog student as well. And anybody who is replacing a dog from our program actually gets priority over anybody else because of the fact that they're you know, they've lived a life with a service dog, so they get priority when it comes to picking a dog or getting a dog for service work. So because you're a long-time student, you've had life, you know, with a service dog. We know that you trained your dog, you know, we know that you are doing everything that we say, and so you actually get priority when it comes to these puppies. All right. So anyone's telling you that they don't know that migraines or POTS or whatever can't you know, alert to that, that means they just haven't figured out how to do it properly. Basically, Kelsey's over here laughing.
Sorry, my anxiety's up.
It's okay.
I don't like talking in front of people.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. There's only 5 people on the video, so don't worry about it.
Thank God.
So, yeah, the little twitches that they're doing, it's totally part of normal development there.
I'm cool being an invisible hand.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. Yeah. So does anybody else have any questions for me at all? I mean, we've been live for 64 minutes, so I'm probably gonna go ahead and end this soon. But before I end, does anybody have any questions? Quick questions that they have? See how fast they're breathing? They breathe so fast sometimes. When they get hot now?
Or is that because they're dream running?
No, it's because they're hot.
Oh, do I need to turn it off?
Well, we're not seeing screaming or anything like that, so. Well, thank you. I appreciate Callie's, was it Callie's dad? Or Dard. Okay, Callie Dard. The chat, when it pulls up, it's really small, so it's hard to see. All right, we'll give you another minute and a half to type your questions in, and then we'll go ahead and end if anybody has any questions. Which one will be yours, Marianne? Well, we don't know that. We won't really be able to tell that until week 7.
That one.
Any of one of them can be yours, yeah. We just want to make sure that, you know, the puppy is matched to your temperament and your exercise. Like I had a person contact me a couple days ago over email saying, you know, will the dog be able to, it sounds like your iPhone is playing music now. It's like randomly playing music for some unknown reason.
It is. It's possessed. I told you.
It's weird.
Like
Okay.
nobody's touched it and it just starts playing music.
So yeah, we had a student contact us who said she was a runner and she ran 5 miles a day. And I'm not going to give you a dog with a low energy level if you run 5 miles a day. You know, I want to give you a dog that has a higher energy level than if you have POTS and you don't have a ton of work, you know, you don't have a, you know, so like both of the students who had POTS who got puppies from the last litter, they contacted me. I remember one student contacted me. She's like, did you train this dog to just go under a chair and sit there for a couple of hours? And I said, no, I gave you the dog that matched your energy level. You have no energy. I gave you a low energy dog because I wanted you to be successful. If I were to give you a dog that needed 5 miles a day worth of running, you would be going crazy right now. But the reason why I gave you the dog that I did was because it matched your energy level. It wasn't scared of loud noises. You know, it was food motivated. It responded to scent. It was temperamentally sound for the job that you needed it to be, you know. So that's why we don't allow anybody to pick their puppy, is because I want you to be successful. My job is for you to be as successful as possible. And sometimes when you pick a puppy, you don't always pick the most, you know, it may be the one that you fell in love with your heart, but in reality, it may not be appropriate for service work. It may be a pet dog pick because it might be sensitive to sound, or it's not as food motivated as one of the other puppies. So we want to pick the puppy that is perfect for you and your living situation. Like if you have 8 kids and you can't exercise your dog, you know, an hour a day, then we're going to pick a lower energy level puppy for you than if you're a you know, a 35-year-old woman with no children and who enjoys running every day. You know, that's going to be a different dog than a person who has a bunch of kids. And we want a dog who has a bunch of kids that responds to children, that loves children, versus the 35-year-old who's a 5 mile a day marathon runner. It's going to be a completely different temperamented dog. So it's really important that even though it sucks that you can't choose your own dog, we make sure that this dog is suitable for your lifestyle and your amount of exercise, your tasks that you need the dog to do, your lifestyle, so that the dog can be successful. Because in reality, it's not about how cute the puppy is. It's really about how well the puppy works for your lifestyle.
You get the dog you need, not the one you want.
Exactly. Yeah. And we try to accommodate, based on your sex selection. So if you want a female or a male, we try to accommodate you as best as possible with that stuff.
Or color combination.
Or color combination. If you want a black male, then we'll try and make sure that we pick the right black male for you. It's just that, we want to make sure that these dogs are successful for service work. And sometimes that means getting, a different color than you might want, but that's more important than than getting a dog that isn't temperamentally sound for service work. All right, we're going to go ahead and go because we're 70 minutes into this. So if anybody wants any more information, they can go ahead and contact me at mary@servicedogacademy.com. Again, that is mary@servicedogacademy.com, or just go to the website, Service Dog Academy, and you'll see my email information there. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye, Marianne. Bye-bye, Robin. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good day. I hope you guys enjoyed the puppies.